Regal Day, we will now explore kung paano mag-conceptualize ng psychologist ang problem solving, including classic experiments that help us understand the obstacles, insight, and cognitive processes involved. So sa simpleng definition, ang problem ay nangyayari kapag may obstacle between the current state and the goal state at hindi agad obvious kung paano ito malalampasan. So in other words, you have a starting point and a desired outcome, pero hindi malinaw ang pathway going there. That uncertainty is what makes it a problem in cognitive psychology. Balikan natin ng mas detailed definition. Ang problem exists kapag may gap between an initial state and a goal state at hindi obvious ang path between them. So this is the standard cognitive framing used in many theories. So may dalawang major types ng problems. Well-defined problems at ill-defined problems. Well-defined problems, clear ang initial state goal at operators. So halimbawa, math problems with fixed rules. Ill-defined problems, unclear ang goal at maraming possible solutions, like designing a public awareness campaign. May taxonomy din tayo, arrangement problems, inducing structure problems, transformation problems. And most experiments use transformation problems kasi clear ang structure of states and operators. Initial state, where you start. Goal state, where you want to go. Operators, allowed moves. Constraints, the limitations. So this will be important as we go through the classic studies. Sa Gestalt perspective, ang focus ay kung paano mo i-present ang problem sa isip mo. So if your mental representation is incomplete or incorrect, may hirapan kang makahanap ng solution. Pero kapag na-restructure mo ito, suddenly, nagiging clear ang answer. So this process is called restructuring. And it often leads to insight or yung sudden realization. So hindi ito gradual, bigla siyang nag-click sa isip mo. So parang puzzle. So once you see the hidden relation, everything becomes obvious. So dito, importante ang idea na changing perspective is equal to unlocking solution. Ang insight problems ay may sudden aha moment. So walang clear step-by-step feeling before the solution appears. So in contrast, non-insight problems are solved gradually. You feel like you are getting warmer or closer to the answer step by step. So halimbawa, yung math problem. So this is a gradual progress, non-insight. So suddenly remembering where you place your phone. This is insight. Ang important takeaway dito, hindi lahat ng problema same ang solving process. Some require analysis, others require restructuring. Dalawang major obstacles sa problem solving, functional fixedness, and mental set. Ang functional fixedness, ito yung tendency na makita lang ang object in its usual function. So halimbawa, yung kay Dunker's candle problem. So hindi magamit ang box as a platform kasi iniisip lang siya as container. Hindi ito tool. Sa mental set, ito naman yung tendency to use a familiar strategy even it may better solution. So example, yung Lochin's water jug experiment. So people keep using complex steps dahil people keep using complex steps kahit may simpler way. So these slow how past experience can sometimes block better solutions. So to overcome this, kailangan nating i-reframe ang problem. Let's give hints, encourage alternative uses, and beginner's mindset. Information processing approach by Newell and Simon. So according to them, Problem solving is like searching in a problem space. Kasi merong initial state, may intermediate states, may goal state, at may operators. Think of it like a tree of possibilities. So strategy example, means and analysis. Break the problem into sub-goals to reduce the gap between current and goal state. So halimbawa, yung Tower of Hanoi, planning step-by-step moves under constraints. So ang difference, algorithms, sure solution, pero mabagal. Heuristics, fast but not always correct. How a problem is presented affects solving. Sa multi-layered checkerboard problem, kapag hindi mo nakita ang underlying structure, mahirap ang solution. Pero kapag na-highlight ang key relations, mas madaling ma-solve. Ang lesson dito, surface features influence mental representation. So bilang students, tanungin natin, ano ang napansin ko kaagad? So ano ang mga hindi ko nakita until it was pointed out? Analogical problem solving happens when you use a previously learned situation to solve a new one. So halimbawa, yung Dunker's radiation problem. Ang process nito, notice similarity. Next, map elements, then apply solution. Problem is, many people fall sa first step kasi hindi nila napapansin yung analogy kahit na exposed na sila sa source story. So experts, however, use analogy more effectively because of experiences and knowledge structures. Paano mas mapapadali ang analogical transfer? Give explicit hints, increase similarity when helpful, and focus on structural features, not surface details. Ang technique, analogical encoding. So, pinapaaral ang dalawang cases side by side para makita ang deep similarity. So, halimbawa, clinical cases comparison in medicine, ang goal dito, matutunan ang notice, map, and apply process. May tinatawag na analogical paradox. Sa lab studies, mahina ang spontaneous transfer. Sa real life, strong ang analogy use, lalo na sa mga experts. Bakit? Kasi mas organized ang knowledge ng experts, kaya mas madaling mag-retrieve ng relevant analogies. Sa teaching implication naman, let's use realistic, context-rich examples and guided comparison tasks. Experts solve problems better because mas organized ang knowledge. Focus on deep structure, not surface features. Spend more time understanding the problem first. So, halimbawa, yung chess masters recall board patterns, not the individual pieces. So, sa physics, experts categorize based on principles. Novices focus on surface keywords. So, takeaway, experts comes from structured understanding, not memorization. Creativity involves divergent thinking, generating multiple ideas. So, halimbawa, Velcro inspired by birds, medical tools inspired by everyday objects. But, too much prior knowledge can sometimes cause fixation, limiting creativity. So, creativity is a balance between knowledge, flexibility, openness to new combinations. Knowledge is necessary, pero too much exposure to examples can reduce originality. So, this is called fixation effect by Smith studies, also related concept ng latent inhibition. Low latent inhibition, more stimuli enter awareness, more creative potential, but also linked in some cases to mental disorders. Some brain studies suggest involvement of anterior temporal regions, but findings are still mixed. Important reminder, correlation is not equal to simple causation. So, balikan natin. Problem is equal to gap between initial and goal state. Gestalt, restructuring leads to insight. Newell and Simon, problem space search. Obstacles, we have functional fixedness and mental set. Analogical reasoning, notice, map, apply. Creativity, divergent thinking plus knowledge interaction. Problem solving is not just a logic. It is also representation, experience, and perspective shifting. Para sa ating attendance codes number 1, 2, 3, so please answer the following question. Number 1, ano ang tawag sa biglang aha na pagkatanto at paglutas ng problema? Number 2, ano ang tawag sa tendencing makita lamang ang isang bagay ayon sa karaniwan nitong gamit? At number 3, sa modernong problem space ni Newell and Simon, ano ang tawag sa pinapayagang galaw o hakbang sa paglutas ng problema?